Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone above, below, or in between. Welcome back to another episode of The Twilight Zone. All this nonsense with the Vault 7, my God. CIA and the other government spooks have been able to hack into our smartphones, computers, smart cars, smart TVs. I mean, a lot of this stuff got creepy. You know what I mean? Ah, man. A lot of this stuff just came up to me just now because I checked out a episode of Active Self-Protection here. That's what that's supposed to say over there. Hopefully that comes into focus so you guys can read the whole thing. Yeah. This is just a bus event, but the whole thing, this is just an example of a crazy person that's being delivered to law enforcement as that should have happened. And we have a nice little kerfuffle here, and the fool had to get shot. You know what I mean? Because, he's a freaking crazy person, You don't know what those guys are going to do next. Thankfully, the law enforcement and the civilians and all that, they're safe and all that other nonsense. But, I mean, it makes, when you start looking at that Volt 7 stuff, you start looking at all these smart cars and all this other stuff a whole lot differently, you know what I mean? Like this right here, it's like, why the hell would anybody take the time to develop a system like this when they could easily lay track, you know what I mean? With a self-driving truck, who on earth would want to build this, you know what I mean? This was back in May 6, 2015. This is Aaron Clarey. He's been doing a couple shows on the smart car, and I haven't had time to check in with him. I unsubbed him a while back because most of his stuff was about financial advice, and advice for getting a future during the Barack Obama years. Nowadays, now that we got Trump in office, he's probably going to have to go back to writing books. Thank God, because I think I read a couple of excerpts. I think I read an interview with him. He seems to be a pretty kick-ass guy. So eventually, when we all go back to our 9 to 5s, we can pick up one of his books and enjoy. But getting back to the smart car, the topic at hand, we're not going to be able to own them. We can only rent them, and that's kind of curious right there. You know what I'm saying? That was ages and ages ago. And now we have this weird story right here by InfoWars. Straight up a journalist that had an idea on this Volt 7 stuff. He said he was going to take some time off, live off the grid for a bit. Stepped into his smart car. The thing sped up, would not slow down at all, and eventually it crashed. Yeah. It kind of puts all that other stuff into perspective now, don't it? Like even a bus, man. Even when your car breaks down, you just ride a bus. Whew. When you know something that you're not supposed to know, yeah, they lock you up or whatever. When you break the narrative, they lock. This goes beyond jail time and things like that. You know what I mean? We're talking about straight up lethal nonsense. It's like, whoa, what the hell am I looking at? You know what I mean? So yeah, it puts everything into perspective with that smartphone stuff. Not to be citing Alex Jones, but yeah, you look at the cars, absolute control over your cars and all your transportation. Talk about apps, you know what I mean? There's a reason why they don't want you owning this stuff. Nobody owns a car, you know what I mean? Nobody owns a home. Everybody's just renting. You never own anything, you know what I mean? So in one way, they could make a socialist society by just billing you to death, by just making the items that you need to get by and to do what you're supposed to do in life. They make those so expensive that there's no way you can afford that. You know what I mean? That's one way you can get a socialist society. Another way is you bring in a bunch of poor people and you have them on the welfare system, and you chase away all the jobs and get everybody on that welfare. You know what I mean? There's a dozen different ways that they got to do this, man. It's grotesque. It's sickening. You know what I mean? All that for absolute control. All that to know everything that's going on in our lives. Disgusting. Even to control our lives. Once again, disgusting. I mean, you're seeing this straight up from the legacy media, the mainstream media. They want control over what we even think. It's like, God, are you kidding me? This is insanity. And when people start waking up, like right here, check out the list of news organizations that are blocked from the White House. Look at that: CNN, New York Times, LA Times, Politico, The Hill, BuzzFeed, Daily Mail, BBC. BBC. Yeah, the minute you start waking up, oh man, you think your betters would be cool about it. You think they'd want to be your buddies, your pals, right? Wrong answer. Sometimes they just want to punch some people in the face. I've said that many a times. And look at how they treat you. We got plenty of evidence of that. Look at all this. Got one chick getting maced in the face. We got another chick getting pelted by eggs and food and rocks. Got old men being maced and knocked around. This is just the nice guy version of it. You don't want to see the blood that's been drawn. I could draw plenty of pictures of that, folks, but I'm just, I'm going to try and keep it light and simple today, just to keep everything on that Volt 7 nonsense. Look at this free speech. We want to get rid of all free speech. And look at this. The whole political vision of the left, including socialism and communism, has failed by virtually every empirical test in countries all around the world. But this has only led leftist intellectuals to evade and denigrate empirical evidence, and that's by Thomas Sowell. That's what they want, folks. Absolute control over everything. It's all adding up, man. It's all right there. And it ends right here. After 8 years. 8 years of it. It's all going away. So good luck to all y'all. Keep up with your projects. Keep up with who's who and what's what. Keep up with your journalists. And good luck out there, man. Stay safe. Good luck to all. Peace out.